set. The fireworks are ready. Boston, celebrating the 4th.
Good afternoon. The Esplanade will be popping tonight for the city's biggest party of the year. Here's a live look out of the Hat Shell. Tens of thousands of people will be watching the Boston Pops fireworks spectacular. The city has been preparing for this big show now for weeks.
So exciting, and people and performers, they are battling the heat. Officials want everyone to stay hydrated out there. We have Team 7 coverage of the 4th of July show, and we begin with meteorologist Jackie Lair with the latest on the all-important forecast. Jackie.
I know it's very important out there. Good afternoon, everyone tuning in. Kiki and Jadayan as well. Gorgeous conditions in terms of all the ample amounts of sunshine, but it is a little on the hot side. Here's a view of those current temperatures at this point. We're currently well into the mid-upper 80s, currently 87 degrees in downtown Boston at this point, and temperatures elsewhere well into the low 90s, including Bedford, Fitchburg, Nashua, also coming in at 95 degrees. Just incredible heat. But if you're trying to beat the heat, likely down towards the Cape and the islands, that's where temperatures are currently into the upper 70s. Dew points, it is quite soupy out there. We're seeing those dew points well into the 60s, and that is making it feel much more hot out there, especially with the heat index well into the low 90s. Definitely need to make sure to stay hydrated for any of those outdoor plans, even through the rest of this evening. Look at this. The wind, though, every so often we get this nice breeze off the water, especially here right along the Charles River Esplanade. We have those winds coming out of the east, right around between 5 to even 10 miles per hour. That's keeping us slightly cooler, ever so slightly cooler. But here's a look at the rest of that forecast for this evening. It will be on the muggy side. It will continue to be that way. And temperatures right into the, say, 6 p.m. hour, 84 degrees by 9 p.m. We're back into the upper 70s, so some relief at least just after sunset later on this evening. And we can't rule out that chance for a couple of pop-up showers as early as, say, right around 6 p.m., mainly farther inland as opposed to closer to the coastline. Right now, we have no clouds in the sky. It's absolutely beautiful as you round out the rest of this evening here along the Charles River Esplanade. I'm going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Jackie, thank you, and stay cool out there. Thousands of people will be on the Esplanade to watch the big fireworks show, some arriving before the sun even came up. They got some water, they got some sunscreen, and now they're dealing with this extremely hot day. 7's Kimberly Bookman live out there for us. And Kimberly, you've been out there for several hours now. How are you holding up?
It's hot, Jadian. It's really hot, but I am in the prime location. I took a lead from everyone else out here. Take a look. Everyone is sitting underneath the trees on this side, or on my other side, you'll see everyone is sitting where there is still shade. On the Esplanade, usually the prime location is on the green grass, so you can see the stage, but you can see how many people are off of the grass because they don't want to be in that sun today.
The heat is on this July 4th at the Esplanade.
I'm from Florida, and this is hot for even me.
But it's not keeping the crowds away. Instead, people have plotted and planned so they could make it for hours under the hot sun.
I was looking through the do not bring or bring list on the website, and I noted that they were very articulate in saying you can bring tents. So I was like, perfect, that's something I'll bring.
There are tents and sunbrellas, trees and canopies to shade the rays.
I tried to do a few minutes without it, but it's just too hot.
Give me a little spray.
We saw spray fans and automatic ones, some even waving hand fans back and forth to stay cool. There are some people in bathing suits and some with no shirts, others using damp cloths.
One ice cold water.
Stands are selling cold drinks and ice cream, people doing their best to stay hydrated. But in case of emergency, Boston EMS has medical tents up and down the river. They can cool people off with misting fans, have oxygen and drinks on the ready. Still, if 90+ degrees is simply too hot for your body temp, there is an alternative.
And then if anybody really kind of feels under the weather, you're just getting over something, you got a chronic condition, maybe this is a good one to watch it on Channel 7 tonight.
Not a bad alternative, but if you do want to come down here, just remember to bring your hat, bring water, possibly a tent, anything that will shade you from this very, very hot sun. And we just checked in with Boston EMS. They tell us at this point they haven't had any major medical emergencies, people just visiting those tents for Band-Aids at this point. Reporting live from the Esplanade, Kimberly Bookman, 7 News.
Newton native spent last night perfecting her performance ahead of the big show tonight. She's one of the pop stars taking the stage this evening, and 7's Brandon Gano is live at the Esplanade with more on the show's lineup tonight. Brandon.
Kiki, it's so funny. A lot of times when you say people, Rachel Platten is going to be playing, and they say, who's that? And you tell them, well, she's the one that sings This Is My Fight Song. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, I know that song. She's from Boston. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, the Indigo Girls are playing, so fans have a lot to look forward to. That's Newton native Rachel Platten at last night's rehearsal, speaking to her hometown crowd about her hit track Fight Song and what it means to be performing here in Boston for the 4th.
I wrote this song when I was going through such a hard time. I was playing tons of little bars and clubs, often in Boston because I'm from here. I'm from Newton, Massachusetts. And
that's awesome. I mean, if she's going to perform here, it's good to keep it local, and obviously everybody knows that song, so it's pretty cool.
The Indigo Girls, also performing tonight, posted this clip to their Instagram, saying on the way to the Boston Pops rehearsal, excited.
Escort on the way to Boston Pops. It's Boston. And it's the Boston Pops. Yeah. And it's history, you know, it's happened for so long, and all our friends and family want to be here. So it's just like a exciting event.
The Grammy Award-winning duo have been performing with symphonies for the past few years and say playing in Boston for the 4th of July with the Boston Pops is unforgettable.
There's nothing like it. It gives you chills to have all those people behind you playing, and it's a whole other echelon of musicianship and teaches you a lot. So it's really awesome.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we'll start to see those performers playing around 8 o'clock. That's latest live in Boston right now. Brandon Gano, 7 News.
All right, and Brandon's got a front row seat there. Not only are people there to see the fireworks, but they also want to hear those sweet sounds from the Boston Pops. Conductor Keith Lockhart has been a part of these performances now for more than 2 decades. His fans are pretty pumped up. 7's Justin Bork live for us right there in front of the hatch to bring us more on his side of the story. Justin?
Well, Johnny, I might be able to see the stage behind me. There's still quite a bit of setup to go, but we are getting treated to some symphony music on the speakers. I'm not sure if you can hear. I also want to point out the fans over here. There are a lot of them, and it was easy to tell the die-hard fans. They were the ones that rushed the stage first thing this morning.
Hours in the hot summer sun.
This is so exciting.
Just for a moment with the maestro.
I love symphonies. It's really weird because I'm literally 18.
Lucy Lyman says she might be one of Keith Lockhart's youngest fans. She and her high school friends made this sign to get his attention.
Gosh, I made this poster. This is so exciting.
It worked.
Oh, I'm going to frame it. I'm keeping it forever. Yeah.
That's you to college, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The conductor himself says these are the moments that have kept him coming back all 23 years.
I look forward to, for one thing, just seeing this incredible crowd of Americans from all stripes, all walks of life, all showing up at the same time.
And tonight, he says he's treating them to a list of outstanding performers.
To have a pop star like Rachel Platten, to have a classic rock act like the Indigo Girls, this Rhiannon Giddens is one of the most talented performers I've ever seen on the stage. I'm simply just blown away by her.
Fans say whatever Lockhart and the Boston Pops have planned, they know it will be amazing.
You can't miss this, can you? It's beautiful. It doesn't get any better than this.
And we asked Lockhart how the heat might affect the performance tonight. He said, well, the heat can mess with the instruments a little bit, but then again, the Pops does concerts all over the world in outdoor venues all the time. So he said, this is really what they do best. We're live at the Esplanade. Justin Bork, 7 News.
And most days, you know, people don't really like standing in those long lines, but today many are saying it's worth the wait. 7's Nathalie Pozzo is live on the Esplanade with all the excitement ahead of tonight's big show. Nathalie.
Yeah, Kiki, well, people started to get here very early. You could see the lawn filling up here on the Esplanade. Now, it is hot outside, but the people I spoke to today tell me it's well worth it to get out here and score those good seats.
Excited spectators are flocking to the Esplanade and braving the heat.
I've been here many times.
For some, it's a tradition and well worth the hours in the baking sun.
I started doing it in 1976 when I lived on Beacon Hill.
For others, waking up early and scoring prime seats is a new way to celebrate the 4th. Jen Martinelli says she overestimated how packed it would be.
It wasn't necessary. We could have come at noon, but we got here at 9.
Her tent fully stocked with the essentials. She even let a stranger crash her party.
I just joined
joined them. I just met them. We went to the Kendall side last year, and then this year is perfect. I do this every year here.
Whether it's melting in the sun or finding ways to keep cool, folks say it will all be worth it to watch one of the nation's largest 4th of July parties.
I want to keep coming, you know, just enjoyment and plus being out here with everybody else.
It's 4th of July. It's like we got the whole city taking care of us today, so it's fun. Absolutely worth it.
And back out here live, people still making their way in, and this side of the lawn is filling up because that's the part that is in the shade. Again, people I spoke to today tell me it is definitely worth it to be out here a few hours before the show. They're very excited for it. It kicks off in less than 4 hours. We're live at the Esplanade. Nathalie Pozo, 7 News.
All right, Nathalie, looking good. Thank you so much. And of course, security is a huge part of this event, and it is tight for the spectacular show. The lines are long as people wait to get through those security lines. 7's Sharman Sacchetti is live with more on how police are keeping everyone safe. There are tons and tons of police presence and emergency management vehicles out there, Sharman.
Yeah, it's a very heavy security presence here. You can just look around and you can certainly see state, local, federal agencies. Police have set up a command center. They say there are no credible threats. There are plenty of security measures you see, but also ones you don't.
I got to give you a wristband?
At the Hatch Shell, lines of people make their way through security while state and local police keep a watchful eye over the crowds in anticipation of the Boston Pop Spectacular.
Everyone was super friendly, and even we met a lot of military and police and whatever, and everyone had a smile on their face.
Above, you can see the State Police Air Wing. They're also patrolling the Charles River. Barriers surround the Hatch Shell, and snowplows are being used to block off nearby streets.
We were making a joke about how it was going to snow later because we saw all the snow trucks and the plows.
I feel safe, and I feel like they treated everybody with respect, and yeah, I thank them. I'm like, thank you for being here.
It's on our bucket list.
People who haven't been here before say they feel safe because of the heavy security presence.
Well, coming in, it was very, very easy. I thought, you know, it was organized. We breezed right through security pretty well.
There are also hundreds of cameras. Mass State Police say there are plenty of security measures you don't see. They say so far things have been running smoothly.
The crowd is being very cooperative, and everybody's coming in. They seem to be prepared for the weather, so everything's going well.
Police presence is great, and it seems very safe. I feel comfortable walking around.
So far, so good. Officials from the FAA, MEMA, other federal agencies, they are also on site as well, making sure things run smoothly tonight. We're live on the Esplanade. Sharman Sacchetti, 7 News.
And Mayor Marty Walsh helping Boston celebrate the 4th. The mayor stopping by several of the city's historical sites today, which have all played a role in the founding of America. The final stop, Boston's historic Faneuil Hall. During the ceremony there, the mayor made a call for inclusion.
Every single person is born with the same rights, and government exists to secure those rights. This Independence Day, let us resolve to the working together as Americans towards a more humane immigration system and a more perfect union.
Fun fact for you, leaders have celebrated the 4th of July at Faneuil Hall for some 235 years.
And on this Independence Day, the Boston Pops will honor the military. There will be a 21-gun salute during the show. Coming up at 4:30, we'll introduce you to the service members who will fire off those cannons. And of course, don't forget, you can watch all of the Boston Pops excitement right here on 7 News tonight at 8 o'clock. You can also watch on Bloomberg TV and listen on Bloomberg Radio.
And we're following some breaking news out of New York City. A person is now trying to climb the Statue of Liberty. So this is a live look right here. And they have now cleared the base, and they are now on the statue itself. If you can sort of look up close to your screen, you can see someone down there on the base. So Liberty Island is currently being evacuated right now, and police are responding. And as you know, that's one of the nation's largest fireworks shows there in New York City as well. So there's a lot of people in the city, more than even usual, and there's also a big police presence there. So this is definitely something alerting for authorities there, and we're going to keep a close eye on it for you and bring you the very latest right here on 7 News as that develops.
And we'll have more on all the 4th of July excitement throughout the evening, and we're following more news today. Families in Thailand praying for the safe return of a young soccer team trapped down inside a cave. A storm now threatening their lives.
And then at 4:30, a close call in Minnesota. A teenager driving right into a sinkhole just weeks after getting his license.
And coming up on 7 News at 5, a video that will tug on your heartstrings. A little girl with cerebral palsy walking for the very first time.
And we're hours away from the fireworks spectacular. Another live look there at the Hatch Shell on the Esplanade. Team 7 covering all of the excitement from all the different angles everyone's setting up. We'll be right back.